I'm here because of the gospel. I'm here because there is a man named Jesus who died on the cross and brought us into relationship, and he saved not only you, but he saved me, and it's this that's why I'm writing the letter. That's what Paul's telling us. He goes, this is my excitement level. I'm sure if you're writing something so eloquently, there's a level of passion that's behind it. And so that's what I'm trying to peel apart this evening and say, what is behind the passion that Paul is writing with? What made him so excited? And he's telling us right then and there, he goes, no, do you realize that we were cut off? And now the unique part about the Roman church, it had a lot of Gentiles. Gentiles were people who were not Jewish that were of the world. He's saying, hey, this came for you before there was a God's chosen people and you were excluded. But guess what? You can come on in now. Guess what? It's for you. You're welcome to come in. That when he died, he didn't just die for the Jews. He came. That was the intent, but it expanded so much more. Amen. It expanded so much. I don't know if you've ever received something that it really wasn't intended for you, and you really wanted it, but it was like, oh, I get to go too. I had a friend when I was in first grade. His name was Ryan Warner. I'll never forget him. And Ryan, his parents, I think they were wealthy, because the school we went to, but I wasn't wealthy. I was a pastor's kid, so there's no way we were wealthy. But he had I remember we were in first grade, he had his birthday party, and he was going to Disneyland, my favorite place, and probably because of this incident. But his dad, they talked to my parents and said, can your son go with us? And I'm just happy to be there. It's not my birthday. I just met the kid. He's in my class. Somehow we became friends. And he goes, yeah, but we're going to spend the night. What, we're going to spend the night at Disneyland? I'm just happy to get to go. We're going to spend the night in a hotel. It was amazing. And so I get there, and it was whatever I wanted. I had never been to Disneyland like that in my life. When I went to Disneyland, they had the sack lunches in the mom's purse and everything like that. Don't ask for nothing. Just be happy you're in this park. Don't ask for no popcorn, no candy. I brought it. Here's a butterscotch candy. Enjoy it. Get on the ride. But I'm in this environment now, and I get to order whatever I want. Wow, I'm just amazed. And I remember the guy, he came and told me, he goes, your son was so well behaved. I was so happy to be there. I never lost sight of that. I didn't lose sight of the fact that it was nothing that I did to deserve to go. Nothing I did. I was just picked. But now how I act after I've been picked shows how I value what I was picked for. How do I receive what I have? So God, you died, you saved me, you brought me into this. What do I do going forward tells you everything about how I view what was given to me. And see, sometimes we don't have that appropriate view of what we received. Sometimes we get caught up in the moment. Sometimes, the music's playing, somebody preaches a good thing, and you know what? Yeah, I think that sounds good. And we don't really have this true conversion of God. I wasn't designed to be in this relationship. There was a time where I was cut off from you and eternally did. But you sent your son. You put a plan in place for me to do it. So it's not about what you're going to do. It's what you've already done. Amen. It's what you've already done. Let's go. We're going to skip down a little bit. We're going to skip down to verse 15. It goes, that is why I'm so eager to preach the gospel also to you who are in Rome. That's why I'm so eager to preach. What I just told you in these introductory verses, this is why I am so eager. Verse 16, the first part, it says, for I am not ashamed of the gospel. I'm so eager, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. That's where this passion comes from. That's why it's not just happenstance. It's not, he's talking to them because he couldn't even get back to Rome, so he's writing them a letter saying, I've been trying to get to you. I'm so eager. I want to see you guys. I want to see the amazing work that's going on inside of you. I'm willing to risk my life to get to you. That's how important you are to me. Because of what God did for me. He died for me. So even though it may seem treacherous what I'm about to walk into, it's okay because I know the value of getting to you. Yes. Amen. And so when I hear a person like Paul, it makes me have to do some self-evaluation and go, God, do I possess that same level of eagerness? God, I received the same gift that Paul did, but why? Where's my eagerness? Is it covered in a layer of shame? Is it covered in this lens of, I don't really know what I got. It's okay. This happens any old time. I can't be more excited about a Disneyland trip than I am about my salvation. I can't be more excited and understand the value of a Disneyland ticket and not understand the value of what coming from death to life actually means in my life. So as eager as I am about Disneyland and small world and all that stuff, that same level of passion has to come out of me when I talk about my Father. I'm going to show you, I'm going to take another step. Pastor Kenny, can I borrow you for a second? What is the gospel? The gospel is the truth. It's the good news. That's what it stands for. And so I'm going to pull something. This is going to be a little controversial, but it's okay. This represents, see that's why I picked purposely, because I know Pastor Kenny, he's okay. He's going to be okay. But this represents the gospel. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. See, I wouldn't let anybody put my jacket on because it's personal. But wearing this jacket, and I speak from firsthand experience, this gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of attention in this church. People ridicule, they poke fun, they'll say all kinds of things to me. When your team gonna win again? But see, what they don't realize, I don't wear the jacket because of what's going to come. I wear the jacket because of what's already taken place. See, when I can look back and I can go 95, 93, 92, 77, that's already happened. You can't take it away. It's already done. So if you don't do 2018, you don't do 2000, it's okay. That's not why I'm here. When I chose my team out of 32 teams, I chose it based on the criteria of what they've already done. Same thing when it comes to Christ. Thanks, Pastor Kenny. I'll let you off the hook now so you don't get stoned. You know? You might not have signed up for that. I didn't choose it based on what's going to happen. I chose it based off of what's already taken place. Same thing with my salvation. It's not, God, what are you going to do for me now? It's what you've already done for me. What you've already done for me is more than enough for what I need. Now, what I do know is there's going to be more victories in the future. And it's okay. And I'm going to enjoy those. Just like I know there's going to be more victories in my salvation. But if they don't ever come, I'm still okay. If I never see it, you can't take away the 5. You can't take away my salvation. And see, sometimes I counsel on the phone and people say, oh, this road is so difficult. I'm like, well, yeah, that's why you got to know what you're getting into in the first place. See, when I got this, it was shining on I bought this recently, in the last couple of years, but I didn't get it in 95. See, that's what we call a bandwagoner. And see, sometimes we have bandwagon Christians. Oh, they're preaching about prosperity. Hallelujah, sign me up. But see, then when we get to holiness, I don't know. Who's talking about something else now? And see, we hop from place to place based on what I'm getting in the moment. And when it gets a little tough, then I want to go ahead and abandon it, and you don't see the same thing. But see, there's something about the fan, there's something about the person that's willing to wear the coat just as proud 20 years later as they wore it on the day when you won the championship. There's something about the fact that, you know what, God, I wasn't there at the cross, but I remember the cross because I keep it fresh in my memory, and I know that's why I serve you. I know that's what's propelling me. I didn't have to be where Paul was. See, Paul's unique because Paul wasn't one of the original disciples. Paul didn't have an eyewitness account. He wasn't on the right team. Paul was killing people and stoning people. So Paul, he represents me. Paul said, I didn't have to be there, but I know about it, and I know what it was done for me. Even though I was on the wrong side, hey, I want what they got. I know what God, I bought the wrong team. Amen. But you welcomed me into the team. You let me put on the coat. And so I'm going to wear the coat proudly. See, what makes up this coat is thread. It's stitches. That's the fabric that makes up the coat. The coat is a representation of something. Just like the gospel is a representation of something. That's why when somebody says the gospel, we throw that term around. Oh, I preach the gospel. I see. But if I don't know what the gospel is, then how can I proclaim it? See, the gospel is made up of something. It's made up of a thread called righteousness. All right, this is another church term, so we're going to break it down. What is righteousness? Righteousness is a right standing with God. See, I had a wrong standing with God. We couldn't have relationship because of my sin. Because of all the things that I've done, we had a wrong standing. But righteousness says, you know what? Because of the death of my son, I'm now placing you in a right standing with me, and that's what this represents. That's the thread that weaves through my life. And I have to understand, wow, I love this right standing. I love this right standing. There's peace. I don't know if there's anybody that dates or is married or so. When you have a wrong standing with your spouse, can you feel it? It's awful cold and chilly. There's no happiness. There's no extra things in the cooking. You get leftovers for sure. You get burnt leftovers probably at that. It's been microwaved too long. It's wrong standing. When it's right standing, it's, oh, hey, there's the big steak, the big piece of chicken, all that stuff. When it's the wrong standing, you got an old Hot Pocket. And see, sometimes we get so used to being in the wrong standing that we make excuses for it because we don't value the right standing. See, when I realize that where this wrong road leads to, then I don't want to be on it. You see, sometimes because we don't see it in front of our face, we don't see the actual result, the end result is very distant, and so therefore I can take it for granted. It's okay. If not you, then somebody else will do it for me. And God's going, that's not the relationship. I watch it, although I'm a bit of a football snob, so I don't watch football with other people because they're very critical, and it's hard. When you're very critical, you've never been on the field. Not that I ever played professionally, but it's different on the field than it is behind on the couch watching the game. And so I don't like watching with people who've only had the couch seat because they say ridiculous things. And it bothers me. Dana, am I telling the truth? See, because then they'll say things like, oh, I could have thrown that ball. You can't get up off the couch without breathing heavy. No, you can't throw the ball. It looks a little different. And see, sometimes that's the posture that we have with our gospel. Oh, you know what? Oprah can help me better. Oprah gave me this. What? Really? Oprah? She did some nice things, but it ain't nothing compared to the gospel.
Come on now. Say it.
Yeah, you got a car, you got a car. How about you got salvation, you got salvation, you got salvation? Oprah, pull that one off.
Preach that.
Oprah, my family's in despair. You know, Dale just gave the story. My son is thinking about suicide. Oprah, what are you going to do for that? And I'm not beating up on Oprah, but I'm just saying this is what we have to guard our hearts against. Because, see, I have more people that promote Oprah than promote the gospel. I have people who eagerly are proclaiming the name of Oprah or this person or that person, but where are the people that are going to stand up and say, I'm going to proclaim the name of Jesus Christ? Where are the people that are going to take Paul's example and say, you know what? I understand what God gave me, and therefore I'm coming to you and I'm doing this. I'm bringing this same thing to you. I'm going to give you 10 verses on an explanation of why I'm so happy to be here. That's what this is. It's an introduction. Isn't it? I didn't know you could get blessed from an introduction. But an introduction based off of who he knew he was and why he was there. Why he was there. We're going to go a little bit. I love verse 16. It says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. It is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. The gospel, the good news, it's my salvation. My pride and my conviction is based off of what took place already. See, the power of God's salvation. Did I understand the true wrath of what was going on? See, sometimes we talk about sin a lot. But do we talk about the consequences and the end result? Because that's really what's even more important. You know what? Yes, this feels good. This is a good thing for the moment. But where does this lead to? See, the world even knows that much. When I was a kid, they used to have the DARE videos and they keep kids off of drugs. What would they show? They showed the end result. They didn't show the beginning. The beginning always looks like fun. Smoking the joint looks like fun. It's cool. But the end result, when things are gone, and I don't have a job, and then drugs have ravaged my life, and I don't have my teeth, and I don't have this, show me that picture. Because then that's going to clear, early on if I'm going to shoot this, take this, or do that. Show me with my teeth missing and I'm slurring words, and show the fact that I had a stroke, and show that part. See, that's the results. See, the results, that keeps me, okay, cool, I'm not going to do that. But God, show me the results of being out of my word. Show me the results of listening to my friends more than I listen to you. Show me the results of isolation versus being in community. See, if I saw what that looked like, then I would hold a little bit more value on these things. If I got there, see, it's always hard in our profession and in pastoring. The hardest part is we try to prepare in this season when it's calm for the season that we know is going to come, which is the storm. But see, the hardest part is to get the attention of somebody in the calm, in the preparation. I mean, I'm not going to do a show of hands, but do we have an earthquake kit at our home? We live in California. It's going to happen, people. It happened. But we go, oh, okay, it wasn't the big one. It was a one, but it wasn't the big one. I don't care, it'll happen. But if I told you tomorrow it's going to happen, I remember Y2K. You couldn't find bottled water. Oh, Jesus, help! The banks are going to close. I'm pulling all my money out. I don't know what's going to happen. See, when we think we know something's going to happen, then we want to prepare for it. But see, God's saying, where's the wisdom in the person that says the day is coming, will you be ready? And that's what he's talking about when it comes to the gospel. The day is coming where you're going to have a trial. The day is coming where you're going to have an issue. The day is coming where you're going to be tested, where you're going to be tried. And if you haven't built yourself up, then you're not even going to know why you're there. See, I know. I have my son. I love it because football's serious in our home. But I make him watch the old stuff. I make him watch the old stuff because I say, son, there's going to be a day that somebody's going to come up to you. They're going to mouth off. And they're going to talk about their team, and they're going to talk about this. And I'm like, it's okay, because I'm going to show you why we do what we do. So you have an answer. Hey, do you know who Troy Aikman is, and Emmitt Smith, and this person? And let's go a little bit, Ryder Staubach. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to keep going back. Because, see, if we don't tell the story, then all I'm going to look at is what's in front of me. And what's in front of me may not be that good right now. What's in front of me may not be the best thing that's happening right now. What's in front of me? Oh, man, my wife left. Oh, my kids are. Why are you a Christian again? I thought you were a Christian because everything's supposed to go well. No, that's not why I'm a Christian. Wait a minute. You don't look that much better off than me. Why are you going to church so much and serving and doing all these things? You don't have no more money than I do. You should be listening to Bill Gates and this person. That's not why I'm a Christian. Not Christian because of what's happening necessarily in the moment. I'm a Christian because of what was already done. Because of what is already done, I know the commitment of my God. I know the faithfulness of my God. So what may look bad and turmoil and despair to you right now, my God will never leave me there. And see, I know that because I've spent time in the Word, and the Word tells me that he will never leave me nor forsake me. So what may look like forsaking right now, it's impossible because he won't leave me or forsake me. So that means there's something I should be doing right now that is preparing me for that day. And so if I can't see that day coming, I'm going to talk about the day that was. Because see, if I remember who the day that was, then it's going to put it into perspective. I tell my kids this the other day because sometimes they have to go to after school care and the daycare after school. And usually I'm right there on the money. I pick them up on time. But this one day, my daughter, I go to pick her up. I was about 5 minutes behind. She had to go to the daycare. And she has tears in her eyes. And I'm like, what's wrong? You didn't come and get me. I was like, babe, I'm literally like 5 steps away. I'm in the office. But you weren't there. I'm like, have I ever left you? But you weren't there. I'm like, babe, but have I ever left you? No, Daddy. I'll never leave you here. You think I'm going to go home and forget that my baby's here? Like, I'm not doing that. It was a delay, but I didn't forget about you. And see, how many times does God tell us that? Did you think I was going to forget you? Did you think that I didn't see the issue that you were dealing with? Did you think that I forgot who you were? I'm Dad. I got you. It was a delay, but it was a necessary delay because Dad was taking care of something for you. That's the delay. But I won't know that if I don't know Dad. If Dad is a stranger, then I don't know what Dad's going to do. If Dad is no different than the other dad that's picking up, oh, I see him coming, But who's my dad? Can you pick him out? I don't know who he is. And see, some of that's how the relationship that we have. We have a very distant relationship with Dad. As we transition on, righteousness, the right standing with God, the fabric of the gospel, it's our why. It's our why we do what we do. We live in a world that wants to create a breach. There was a breach. There was the wrong standing. The world wants to exacerbate that breach. You know, I'm not going to read through it, but the ending part of this chapter talks about the causes of the breach. It talks about all the sin that separated man from God. All those things, if you read through that, those are the things that you can turn on your TV and you can see right now. Lover of yourself. I'll love how I want to love. Whether it be same sex, different sex, intersex, outer sex, I don't even know all the different sexes now. Do it, it feels good, go with it. Wow, there's a book that was written 2,000 years ago that already knew that this day was coming? Very interesting. I gotta know my history. I gotta know it because that's what's gonna be full. Wait a minute, these are the things that caused the breach in the first place, and now they're coming full circle. The breach that you sent your son to fill the gap and put me back in right standing, and now they're being promoted like they're the thing to do. But wait a minute, God, I remember how that story ended. Wow, I'm in relationship with the one who fills the breach. So then where do we go from here? I love in Romans, it says, verse 17, the B part, it says, where does it come from? It springs from faith. The righteousness springs from faith and leading to faith, disclosed in a way that awakens more faith. And it is written and forever remains written, the just and the upright shall live by faith. So we talked about what the thread of the gospel is. The thread is righteousness. Now it's about our part. The thing that keeps it moving is the muscle of faith. Faith, it says both this is where it starts and this is where it sustains. So the relationship starts with faith. Something had to awaken in me to receive the gospel. I had to first believe that God, you existed. I wasn't there. I'm only 40 years old. I wasn't there. But there had to be a moment where I go, God, this is truth. I know that you died for me. You're the creator. You're this. So that's where the inception is. It starts with that initial muscle, and it's sustained as that muscle grows. I don't know if you know how muscle works, but muscle works by tearing. Muscle works when something is torn. It doesn't just get bigger. It doesn't just do it. It has to tear, and it repairs, and that's what makes it bigger. So I'm going to need some help for this one. Justin, come on up, and Izu, come on up. We all have muscle. There's not one person in this room that doesn't have muscle. Stand right here. We have different types of muscle, but it's all muscle. You're born with muscle. This whole body animates and moves because of muscle. My brain sends a message to my muscles and tells it what to do based on what needs to happen. So what we have here, we have a little bit of some different stages. We have potential faith. We have actualized faith. We have retired faith. See, Justin has the potential of muscle. The muscles are in the development stage. Izu is in the actualized stage. He got the guns. They're live, they're on display, he's rolling. This one's the dangerous one. That's why I use me. I didn't pick none of y'all. So don't be throwing stones. There was a day that I was in the actualized, but something happened and it became the retired. There's still muscle there. I'm not there, but I'm not here. And this is sometimes where we're at in the different stages of faith. There's the faith of the potential. I just came to Christ. I just understood. There's the I'm on fire for Christ. You're doing, you're moving, you're acting in my life. I know what to do. I got a verse for everything. I got to stand. And then there's the retired. Oh, yeah, I used to do that. Yeah, I know that verse. Yeah, I heard Pastor preach that before. That was good. I remember that. But what are you doing now? So I got something. How do we build our faith? We build our faith with trials. Trials. Trials are weights. See, sometimes there's a couple of different ways that you build muscle. That's the most effective way. But do you know that just simply walking, this builds muscle? Very slowly, but it builds muscle. Jogging builds muscle. A little bit faster than walking, but still slow. And see, sometimes that's what we do. We come to Christ and we just walk. And we expect life to be this flat terrain that will never change, and until one day we come to an obstacle. Nope, that didn't work. How do I get up this obstacle? God, why me? I thought this Christianity thing was supposed to be easy. Because see, walking is easy for an adolescent. It's not easy for a baby because they're crawling. But see, once their muscle develops a little bit, now I can walk. But then I got to learn to take a step. Ooh, wow, that took some extra muscle. See, the more I actuate it, then eventually that becomes easy too. And I can run stairs and I can go up and down stairs and I'll build muscle. But this way builds the most muscle. So Justin, come on over here. Can you lift that up? Don't hurt yourself. So you can lift it. That's the appropriate weight for Justin. Go ahead, put it down. God says, Justin, you can handle that weight. So Justin, try to lift this one up. One arm, try with one arm. Can't do it, right? God's never going to allow this weight to hit Justin. That's what God says. He goes, I'm not going to allow any more on you. God's not the one sending them. He's the one preventing them. So he goes, okay, that's going to be okay. Now, Izu, you got lift up the little one. See? No problem, right, Izu? Izu eats these for breakfast. It's no deal. Izu probably has these in his pocket right now. So, no big deal. But see, if Izu just kept doing this won't remain. He'll have muscle, but it won't be this size. Izu, let's see if you can do this one. I'll say, woo! He's single, y'all. This, Izu can handle. So this trial may come Izu's way. But Izu goes, no. I only want to do this one. I only want to do this one, Lord. God says, but you're not going to. That's good if you're this size. That's the trial for this size. You're on to this size. That's why the verse says, it says, count it all joy when you fall into various trials and temptations. Why? Because the working of them, the working of your faith brings steadfastness. It brings endurance. It brings all these things forward that you're going to need for your walk. All right, I'm going to talk about the last person here. Mr. Retired Faith. See, retired faith is dangerous because I remember the day when I could lift this. See, are you hurting right now? A little bit, okay. A little bit of hurt. It's going to heal really quickly. Because see, as I told you, what happens with the muscle is the fibers tear, and they're supposed to tear. But they tear a little bit. They're microscopic tears. And then how they rebuild is based off of what I eat and what I do. So there's a couple components. One is my nutrition, and the other part is rest. And the third part is the exercise. So the doing, the eating, and the resting. The doing is the trial. What do I do in the trial? I speak to the trial. I speak to the mountain. That's the doing. The eating. I'm going to fill up on my word. God, what do you say? This is how I build myself up, because this allows my faith that has tears in it to be healed and to be repaired. And then the resting. God, I'm not going to move outside of you. I'm going to rest in the fact of who you are. I don't see it because in the rest is how I'm regenerated. That's the combination. But see, sometimes we get to here. How do I get here? How do I get to retired faith? It's because I start mixing what I eat. See, this is good vegetable. This is good meat. But see, I start adding some other things to the diet. We were laughing today. I add the Kool-Aid to the diet. All right, Lord, I'm still eating the word, but I love grape Kool-Aid. It's okay. I still look like Izu. I can drink the grape Kool-Aid. All right. God says, yeah, you can. It's paying a toll. I don't see it, but it's taking a toll. And then, here comes a little cupcake. She's a cute cupcake. All sweet and frosty. So I just have a cupcake. Ooh. Girls, you're not off the hook, too. There's a beefcake, too. I'm going to start mixing that. So the time that I used to go and exercise, I'm now with the cupcake. I traded in my exercise time for cupcake time. Cupcake isn't bad. It has a place. I can't leave my exercise. So see, the culmination of all this diet, this bad diet, leads to retired faith. And retired faith, what happens is I'll attempt and I'll say, oh, I can do it still. I can still, snap. There's a tear that happens. It's not a microscopic tear, though. It's a deeper tear. That's a tear that needs surgery. See, sometimes that's what happens to our faith. We have a deep tear in our faith because we were lifting something that we once used to be able to lift, but we didn't realize we couldn't lift it anymore because we haven't been to the gym lately. See, when I'm on this cycle, Justin's not going to try to lift this. He knows better. He's going to know, I need help. I need a spotter in my life before I try to touch this one. I need to be in community. I need somebody who's going to say, Justin, no, man. You stay right here. You lift this one. This is what you can handle. You can do it. Once you got this one down, then we'll move to the next one. That's the Holy Spirit coaching me and guiding me in my life. And then when the bigger one comes, see, when I'm here, I know, oh, I can handle that, but I have the right lifestyle still. But see, when I get here, now I'm living off the past, and I don't realize I haven't been eating right, and then that's how I end up getting hurt, and then I want to blame God and say, how did you allow this to happen? And he goes, when did you leave the gym? You left the gym, you left your coach, you left your spotters. So we couldn't help you, so now you're in the gym trying to go back to the spot where you left off, and you're lifting this heavy weight, and you don't realize you're about to hurt yourself. And see, that's sometimes what happens. The trial comes. Oh my God, I got this disease, stage 3, stage 4. God, what am I gonna do? Oh, I saw what Pastor Diego did. I'm gonna just throw some scriptures at it. But I've been drinking Kool-Aid. I don't even have enough scriptures. Okay, Pastor Aaron, just pray for me. Just pray for me. Okay, it's not working though. Pastor Aaron, I still, it's getting worse. That prayer doesn't work. Okay, well, what else did he do? He said rest. Okay, he threw his medicine in the sea. I'm gonna throw my medicine in the sea. Oh, wait a minute, now I had a crisis of faith because I tore. Because, see, I'm doing somebody else's workout routine that wasn't mine. See, that's the danger of faith. Faith, I can't skip steps. Izu cannot work out for me. I wish he could. It would be so much easier. I could just bask in here. Yeah, I'm with Izu. He works out. I got a sweater on too, so I'm going to just make mine look puffy. And the same thing's underneath mine. It's all good. And see, sometimes that's what we do. We mask ourselves in a crowd of Christians, of people, and then because we don't hold each other truly accountable, we allow each other to get hurt sometimes. Thank you, guys. What am I ashamed of? See, I'm not ashamed of the result. I love the result. But sometimes I'm ashamed to admit that I'm not as disciplined as I need to be. And because I'm not as disciplined as I need to be, when I'm exposed, when I go to the pool, then I don't want to take off my stuff. I don't want to take off the things that I hide with. Because when I take off the things that I hide with, now you're going to see the real deal that, oh, that dude ain't been working out. You puffy swole. You not like swole. It looked good in the sweatshirt, but that stuff's a little mushy. There's no definition there. If God was to put my spiritual walk on display, what is the definition of my spiritual walk? Is it a 6-pack or is it a 1-pack? Is it a belly? Is it mixed? See, I have muscle. It's not that I don't have muscle. I have a layer of fat. In the layer of fat is where all those things live. And God says, John, let's get back. I'll never forget. I'll tell you this story as we're getting ready to wind down. But I thought I was going to get myself back in shape, so I signed up to play flag football because I love football. And I thought I would play myself into shape. It doesn't work that way. All I did was get sore. So I could still perform, but my recoup time was totally different. So every Sunday night I'd come in the house like Frankenstein because my legs were seizing up. And I remember talking about, he goes, you can't go into the game without going to practice. Where's your practice life look like right now? What does my practice life look like right now? I know what game's supposed to look like, but actually you win the game in practice. What are my habits? What am I doing? What have I taken on? Why do I have this thing? Why am I ashamed to be seen in practice? See, there's something honest about that. It's something honest when I go, you know what? I can't lift like you, bro. I want to. Tell me what oh yeah, that's right. This is how we do it. I can get back in the swing of things. But it takes that moment of honesty. It takes that moment of clarity to say, you know what? Where I want to go to, it's going to cost me some things. So, Cupcake, I'm going to have to step outside. I got to go to the gym now because I can't thoroughly enjoy you the way I'm supposed to enjoy you until I learn the right balance. It's not that I can't have you. I don't know balance right now. And so I'm going to have cupcake after cupcake after cupcake after cupcake after cupcake. But when I know balance, then I'm going to make sure I got my vegetables, I got my water, I got my protein, I got the this, my muscles are fine. I can enjoy the cupcake now. It's not going to destroy my life. This last point that I want to illustrate, it's one of my favorite movies. It's a clip that's on there, but it talks about, it's somebody who forgot who their father was. And they had gotten ashamed of who they were because they let other people tell them of what it meant, who their father was. Other people who knew who their father was, but it wasn't their father, so it's easier to throw stones. And see, sometimes this is the relationship that we have. And so as you're watching this, I want you to look at it through the lens of talking to Father God and looking at what it would say. Go ahead and play the clip, guys.
Living with you, it hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now with all this going on, this is going to be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
Oh, what, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself, and this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through with this, okay? This is only going to end up bad for you, and it's going to end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
It's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm going to be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this, but you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you. Every day was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
How many of us can be honest and say we've had that conversation with God before? God, they're making fun of me. This doesn't work. They're making fun. Don't you see what they make Christians to look like? We're the laughing stock. I don't want to sign up for that. Just be good. Just go in the background. Let's not talk about God right now. Christians aren't the in thing right now. They're judgmental. They're hypocrites. They're all these things that the world says it was. And I love his response. You were okay. You used to be right here. You used to be Justin. But somewhere along the way, you let people tell you who you are instead of who I told you you were. So I love that clip because it was a different clip because it shows all of Rocky's past victories in the background. Because see, his son didn't realize he's talking to the champ. My dad is the champ. I watched all the movies. He wins every time. My father's the champ. He wins every time. He goes, stop worrying about pointing the finger and blaming someone else. Get back to the gym and you navigate it. Life's not supposed to be easy. Read the book and it'll tell you that. The Bible told me that the trials are going to come. But he goes, keep on lifting, keep on eating, keep on resting in me. And then this trial will become easy. And this one I can start to lift. And I can be ready. And I can be ready. Not just for me, but so that way I can look back and I can grab a Justin and take him on the journey and then coach. See, I love that if you know that movie, they had told Rocky, you're over the hill. And they were dogging him. And he goes, it ain't over till it's over. And tonight, I hope some of you that may have been in that retired zone says, it ain't over until it's over.
Until God says over.
It's not over, God, because I still have motion in this body. I'm still here, and you're not done with me yet. I still have the ability to take my faith and start lifting it again and start moving it again. And I'm going to get with somebody who is going the same direction I do, because somebody in the faith that's heading the same direction won't see the obstacle, they'll see the end result. Somebody who says they're going to walk beside me and says, you know what? I don't care how old you are. I know you can lift it. I've seen you do it before. I know you can handle it. I've seen you do it again. But are you going to be ashamed or are you going to be proud? Are you going to be eager? Or are you going to be the one that's going to stand up for me? That's what God's looking for. That's the passion that God's looking for. He's looking for it in every single one of us. I say it every Sunday when we're in Growth Track. God doesn't make extra parts. You have a plan. You have a purpose. You have a destiny. You have a championship in your future. You're one of the patches waiting to be sewn on to God's glory. He wants to sign your name on the patch. He's going to say, October 3rd, 2018, victory for John. It's the night that you said, I'm coming home. It's the night that you said, God, I know my purpose, and my purpose is with you. I don't care if you don't do anything else for me. I have a clear vision of what you've already done, and I want to be added to the jacket. I want to be added to your jacket, God. I want to be your next victory. My life looks like crap, for lack of a better word. But I know with you shining through it, it won't look like that no more. I know when I get in the gym with you, victory is in our future. I'm not going to take my advice from a world who's jealous of you. The world wants your attention. It fights for your attention. And God says, they can't compete because I got the championships, baby.